Welcome to the Spa Day with Toros Crypto. Music's fucking loud. Jeez. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Who do we have in here?
Hello.
Griff. Oh, yeah, I'll introduce everyone as well. Welcome, everyone. A bit of a different stream for today. We've got the French Bull, we've got Cakezilla, and we've got Mr. Fugazi in the stream. I think we also have another couple of guests. Actually, if I try and add Delirium, let's see if I can add him without... Oh, we can. We've got another one in here as well. So we've got more. We've got a group stream on the go. That I thought it would only let us do 4, but it must be me plus 4 people. So hello.
Oh yeah, so it's 4 plus 1.
Yes. Who do we have in here? This is kind of cool. I haven't done something like this. I'm still here on a treadmill.
We're all on a treadmill.
Yeah, we're all there. Just no one else.
Constant treadmill, never stopping.
Yeah. All right. Welcome, Griff. Welcome, Edward. Welcome, Bit Phantom. Fugazi, you're already here. Flora, Johan, Jambi, Alina, Milchid. I can't do it. I can't do names that I don't. Melchizedek. Welcome. I'll just call you Lockwood. Someone said there would be cake today. Yes. There is a cake. There is a Cakezilla in the chat. Yeah, so I don't know. We're trying this out. We'll let, as always, you guys in the chat kind of direct this from where we're going. But I think what we can start off with is each of us can just do a little bit of some analysis, an introduction, and yeah, once we've done a few minutes each, then we can just like see what happens, really. Yeah, so bear with us. It's the first time we've done like a group stream for quite some time. So cool. So I'll start off as I'm here and I've got my screen up. Bitcoin. So yeah, if anyone watched the morning update from this morning or was paying any attention to Twitter or on the Discord, you'll know that we were kind of looking for this move down into at minimum that 43,200. And this is what we've been waiting for a while. Yesterday, I wanted to see that move down to come and take out basically the stops that we had around those single prints again yesterday. Never quite got there. So yesterday we basically just saw this Asia range, and then we just swept both sides of it. So you can see the London session taking out the highs and taking out the lows, and then New York was just a pile of boringness. Nothing really happened. After that, it was a nice area to go back into a long, I think, towards the end of that New York session as we went into last night. And we had the golden pocket down there. We had some confluence there. We'd been building up some short positions. We had that rise, but it just started to roll over, started to fail at that previous day open. And that's when I was just writing my update this morning, being like, okay, I think we're going to see this first flush, basically, that we've had through this whole range. So yeah, a decent little start to to the day here with the move down. It's been a nice opportunity to get into a couple of long positions, even if you missed the short. For me, really, the major signal that this was going to be heading like significantly lower was as soon as you lost that daily open and back tested that as resistance. Then we got that move down, liquidated a ton of long positions, and that's pretty much just taken us back into fairly neutral again. Now I would be looking for another move back towards the highs of this range and just continue this range. If we are to lose this level, then for me, the next levels that I'm really looking at are down around about that 41,600-ish to 41,800-ish, where you have the 382 of the month so far, of this big impulse that we've seen so far this month. You've got the anchored VWAP from the monthly VWAP, and anchored from the beginning of the impulse. And then you bring it back down into these still very, very steep trend lines. But you can see here, as soon as you break this one, are we going to get a test to a one lower? So yeah, a decent opportunity to or a decent bounce that we've had so far. But yeah, potentially still looking lower if this can't pick up a bit of momentum. With the legacy markets, we just had unemployment data come out, and a really, really nice opportunity just for a scalp long, sweeping some local lows and then just launching off of that. So same situation like we've had recently, where any news that we get is just bullish. Like even if you get a little dip, it's a really good buy the dip situation, good buy the dip opportunity, and then we get that move higher. Same with the ES, although I don't have this loaded. There we go. So we had that drop on the ES and then a move up as well. So yeah, what can we do? Shall I pass it over? Who wants to take the stage? Fugazi's disappeared. Fugazi's ran away already. There, he's back. Add him back to the screen. What's in the comments? I don't know. Anyone else that's here? Who's?
Yeah, who's gonna take the lead?
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
Where do you find these guys? This is the Toros team, by the way. So we've got some members of Team Toros here. So the French Bull. We'll let everyone introduce themselves. I'm sure most of you guys already know who all of the others are, but yeah, French Bull, would you like to do a little introduction? Start with you, and I can throw your screen on.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. So I'm the AO12 specialist at Toros. I've been doing AO12 for a few years, at least 3 or 4 years now. Mostly on Bitcoin and crypto, but yeah, doing not so bad here. And actually, on the move we have right now, I'm pretty much in confluence with what Lux says. I think was looking for a pullback here. Well, let me start with that. That was a week ago. If you have been following a bit of AO12, you may have seen that ending diagonal count ID. It was trending a lot last week. So of course that was a possibility that we might have a top there. But of course, as we were and we still are in a strong bull trend, I was looking at the possibility of just countering the move here. Well, that I may zoom out in a minute to show you a bit broader context here. But so far it has been following like to the tick. I was looking for this surge to top at the 261.8, which did exactly to the tick. Then that third wave to top around the 261.8. So again, almost to the tick. And now we are having a bit of a pullback, something we can expect during any trending move, right? So when we zoom out here on the 1 hour and 4 hour, it's really nothing. For the one that are chasing the trend and zoom in only on the 1 minute, that can feel heavy, but yeah, that's just a 236 retracement of that proposed third wave, which is a classic target for force, right? Now, yeah, I'm not necessarily gonna zoom in more than this. Could be the low, we could sweep it again because we have tagged the 236 retracement here on Coinbase, but that's because Coinbase went significantly higher than every other exchanges here on the top of that third. So if we look at Bybit here, you can see that we front run a bit. Count is complex on the low time frame, but yeah, maybe we sweep the low again. That's not going to invalidate it. And yeah, wave 4 in theory could retrace more. I don't have much lower time frame insight on that, but going towards the 41, 700, 600 is also possible without invalidating that. So for now, from my side, I'm looking to finish that move that started, as I'm counting it here, from the 21 last month, and looking to finish 5 waves. Then we'll see. Maybe we'll get into a bigger pullback. Zooming out a bit. The idea is to also count from the low of September here and try to fulfill 5 waves, right? So at some point we should have a bigger wave 4 retracement here, I think, which could, yeah, potentially get some liquidity here if we don't take it right now. So yeah, I'm kind of expecting some kind of, well, either a significant rug pull here, or at least a longer consolidation, and then eventually going to the 50K. That's pretty much my main plan right now. I didn't really made all the count on that because, well, so far I'm just following to the tick, so I don't see any reason to. Now, if we start to see, I don't know, things start to reverse a lot more, we'll reassess and look at something else, but I don't see this as a top so far. Maybe a bit later. And yeah, I'm gonna finish on that, but broader idea here, I know I've been targeting 50K for quite a while, since we have that breakout here. And the idea is basically that on the higher time frame. So we have the contemplate here. Either we're going really in the bull run here, the real bull run targeting new all-time highs. In that case, I have as a target for the third wave here, about 100K. I think I have the, yeah, it's 561.8 on the linear scale of proposed wave 1 is like the target we almost always reach for the third wave here. But you may see I have a couple like count here to name one. The potential of a sales and news event, and for now, I'm looking at the completion of a count from that September low to where we're gonna end that. But I don't see in this move enough leg to send us to that bigger wave 3 target. So what I think is that we may top out here end of the year, beginning of next year, and then we'll see how we retracing anywhere basically into this will be valid, anywhere between September low and the high we'll have put to print a subwave 1, 2 and go to finish the third later. Or are we going to top out and completely reverse? So I had that idea for quite a while now. It's like the ending diagonal from 2 weeks ago. It's starting to trend a lot more. I think because there was an interview of a famous prankster you know, the guy that run Elliott Wave International, and that is pretty bearish on Bitcoin so far. And since this interview by ILSO, I see so much people looking at this that, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But
Yeah.
I think it's normal to have 2 plans here. The thing is, there is so much hype here, so much front run of the halving and the ETF approval that we can expect to sell the news event. The question is, are we just going to sell the news on the ETF approval, got a bit of a drawdown, have the launch of the ETF while we are in a drawdown, then we can launch? Or are we going to have just a complete bloodbath?
So, yeah, I think that makes sense. I think we're reaching like kind of an area where we're getting a little bit, maybe a little bit too overextended to the upside so far. We've got the ETF thing. I saw, French Bull, you were researching when we just started this, when we were prepping for the stream, like how much of a gap there is between an ETF approval and it actually going live, which could actually be like quite an interesting point. Like, okay, ETF gets approved, and then maybe we just dump until it goes live, and then it all like kicks off again, or like the opposite way around. So, yeah, that's
yeah, actually, yeah, that's the question. For me, it's clearly it's gonna be yes on the news event, probably. It's depend of the trend, yeah, as you say.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pull back at some point.
If it launch while we are going down or bottoming out, it's fine. But if we are, you know, maybe we'll be already at new all-time high when the ETF launch, then it's gonna be iffy. You know, that's also why I keep this kind of simple trend line here. But say, yeah, maybe we just like a bull trap here and reverse from here. Yeah, but you know, we have the Coinbase listing at the top of 2021. We have the CME first Bitcoin future launch on the top of 2018 top. Now we are front running this news, so of course we are thinking, is it gonna be a sudden news? It was a good buy the rumor at least. Now, yeah, let's see the rest.
There's a big change coming with the CME contracts on the 14th of January as well, which could be quite interesting because they'll be offering perpetuals on the CME for Bitcoin, like I think additional leverage and stuff, which could be something that a lot of people haven't really factored in to their.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. When does the launch that?
14th of January. So there's really big changes coming with all of the CME contracts. So even like the ES and the NASDAQ are going to have like major changes. They're going to be adding additional leverage onto those contracts from next year. So yeah, everything we know about the CME
maybe we'll be able to trade Bitcoin on top steps then.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting times anyway.
And in fact, just I'm gonna finish with that, but just a little mention. We'll go deeper into that later, but another day. But yeah, the month of January is really key. I think if you look at the yearly open and close on the Bitcoin chart, you can see how the first months, depending which direction we go, well, usually it just sets up the trend for the year, right? And the yearly level is going to be very important. Or, you know, here you have the open, you trade a bit below. As soon as you reclaim your yearly open, you go. But yeah, yearly open, you go down. Yearly open, you go up. Yearly open, you go up. Here down. It's just, yeah, as simple as that as I'm going to take it. I'm going to watch how January goes.
Yeah, I think January is going to be a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyone else who's in our little panel have anything to say? And then
I don't have the chat. I don't know if there's any question, by the way. But yeah.
I'm ready to go. We want to wait for some comments to come in.
Yeah, we can see. Anyone have anything they want to add? Anything in the comments? Let's say hello to Cake as well whilst we're waiting. Welcome everybody. We'll add Cake to the stream as well. So yeah.
We need a little noise like da, 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 Cake.
Yeah, we'll get used to doing this as a group later. It's so weird when it's like actually when we do the voice channel chats quite often, and it always just we just end up like talking about all sorts of different stuff. But yeah, it's a bit different when we're doing a live stream and everyone's sharing a screen as well. So there is just a quick question for French Ball just before we do go on to that. Yeah, Jan D just says, do you use fib time for your Elliott wave at all?
Yes and no. I'm not necessarily using the fib time per se. I mean, if I have a nice precise confluence, it's good, but I do use time equilibrium between waves. So yeah, I need for structure to make sense that each wave of the same degree make more or less the same time, unless there is an extension inside. But what I mean is, yeah, here you have a wave 1, here you have a wave 2. It take more or less the same time. The third going to be maybe taking a bit more time because there is a more extension in it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I do for time. I think it's important to have a bit of balance.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, yeah, everybody, welcome Cake, one of the newest members to the team, alongside Fugazi and Delirium also here as well. And I think we'll have Randall. Randall keeps popping in and out, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But yeah, this is Cake. If any of you have been seeing Cake's updates on doing a daily video update, so make sure you're also following Cake on YouTube. And
Twitter.
yeah, he does. And on Twitter, of course, Cakezilla618. And yeah, he's doing daily video updates on the ES and had another great one this morning. So yeah, I guess you'll have a nice little update for us again right now.
Indeed. So yeah, I'm Cake, newest analyst, as Luke said. I basically do an update each and every day on ES, and I'm like the market structure guy, so that's what I like to specialize in. It's like the style of trading I like to try and teach and show people the power of it, really. So I'm just going to jump in with this first example here from ES. So this morning's update, I was talking about this box here in the Asia range, and I came up with this plan. The plan was to take the liquidity below Asia and then to break above and to hold the daily opens and then make that move up to the previous day points control. As you can see, we got that liquidity sweep. We came up, we held the daily opens, and since then we've been moving up. And this was the first box here. I was looking for a reaction. You can see that we got a slight reaction, but we have gone through it. So for me right now, I'm looking at the higher time frame context in this matter. So if we just go to this chart, make it a bit neater. I'm looking at this from a 4-hour perspective. And I believe that this was support until proven otherwise. You can see that we've had a 4-hour breaker structure here, but above this previous high, you can see we closed candles here. And then since then, we've just retraced into areas of demand. And as you can see, support is held. And today, we've got that next move. So for me, I'm expecting these highs to go until the market shows me otherwise, unless we start seeing candles close below this key level here. To the upside, we've got a few nice little areas to be looking out for. You've got around this 4588 region. You've got a time point to control from yesterday. Obviously, you've got a Fibonacci pull coming in around there too. You've got the 702, 786. You've got the previous day value area high. It's worth mentioning that we did open the day today outside of the previous day value area. So we could be looking at that full rotation to the next value area because we've conquered the low. So we could be looking up to these high regions where there may be a potential short opportunity. But it's very, very important we understand the higher time frame context. And in this matter here, we would expect this high to be taken. So shorts in these high regions may be good for a scalp, but we need to be careful because the trend on the 4 hour is up, and it has been up for quite a while now, as we can see. We're just waiting for this pullback to really show us that it wants to start. And then when it does, we've got some real great levels to be targeting to the downside. But from a perspective of market structure on the higher timeframes, you can just see that right now we're tapping into some major resistance above here, but we have just been moving up. It's just a clear trend. So just follow the trend until it ends. So yeah, that was today's plan. Made some money on that. Happy days. Can throw one of these in exactly as predicted. But next, I'll quickly, real briefly talk about Bitcoin. So I did take a long at the VWAP close here. So you can see the guys have covered this plenty, but we've had this range. We've come down. We've taken liquidity. We've tapped into the VWAP close. For me, I'm looking at this as my swing range, my local swing range. That's my low. That's my high. I'm looking for discount demand. I'm looking for areas underneath the 0.5 to end longs. I got that. I entered my long right there. I will be getting interested even more in this range down here. So you can see we've got a nice demand range here. If we drop into that, I will be interested in longs, where I'll be looking for lower time frame changes of structure. I'll be looking to carry that long up even higher. But it must be said that from a very high time frame perspective on Bitcoin, we also have major resistance. We've crossed the 0.5 retrace, so we're now in premium pricing from this entire move here. So you can see from the all-time high until the latest low, we've got above the 0.5, so we're now in premium pricing, but we're also running into this weekly supply. Not only that, but we also have the value area high of the entire bull market, and we also have the 618. So for me, this is major resistance and a time to be cautious. Yes, there might be some nice scalps along the way, but be very, very careful and make sure you cover yourself and be very secure in your positions. And like Luke said in the past, if you're not positioned well, you may get hurt during Asia while you're sleeping. So make sure you're well positioned and you're being safe, because we are entering major resistance, especially towards the end of the year. Luke's mentioned another level that he'll probably cover as well, it being the previous year open, was it?
Yeah. We're getting into the yearly level as well.
Yeah, so we've got a huge weekly supply zone. We've got the value area high, the previous bull market. We've got 618 of this entire move down. We've broken structure here. So, in my opinion, I would pretty much expect something like that to happen, really. And then into next year, we can start looking at the next phase of the bull market. That's just my personal opinion. Of course, it could just shoot off. Who knows? But yeah, that's where I stand on Bitcoin.
Not the moment to open a trade without a stop.
Yeah, I think that's because although we're still in this uptrend and long positions are still proving to be the better reward on those, you also have to just be patient with that as well. Like, I didn't take any trades yesterday because we didn't hit any liquidity and nothing really happened. We just went through the whole day. Okay, we could have traded off of the Asia high and the low during the London session, but other than that, it was like I wanted to see single prints. I wanted to see before there can even be another move higher, or even if there is to be another move higher, there hasn't been really a retrace in order to get in. And the same for shorts. You don't want to short until you've seen weakness. And the first time we saw weakness was this morning, like overnight. So if I just go back onto my little screen here, it was when we had that just slow rise back into the previous day open, losing the daily open. That's the opportunity to take shorts. And yesterday we hadn't really seen either longs or shorts. There were small trades that you can have, but this is kind of what we were saying, like the ones that unless you're just day trade scalping it, which is fine. Okay, scalp short, scalp long, some nice CVD divergence that we had at the lows. Short again around here. But if there's ones that you want to hold overnight, and we're talking about like position plays right now, then you have to kind of be patient with that and wait for the bigger opportunities, which I think is what we've seen so far today. So yeah, getting into these long positions. So for myself, having had this dip, I've gone long Bitcoin, I've gone long Ethereum, I've gone long DOT, I've gone long Doge, all of which are, last time I checked, in profit. So hopefully all of which are still in profit. Let me just have a look. All of which are still in profit. So yeah, and it's just waiting for those opportunities as well, really.
So if you just take a quick look at this as well, like we saw people on Twitter shorting like in this region here. Like I saw so many of them, but like, where is the market showing you that that weakness? There's no weakness here at all. This is just consistent grinding up into a area of supply, and it blasted through. Like as long as people keep shorting and there's bears in the streets, then there's, in my opinion, keep going higher. One thing I did mention the other day is we do have, this is the Binance tether chart. We had a wickless daily also. So this candle here doesn't have a wick on it. As it opened, it just immediately moved. Now, literally go and find me a wickless candle that hasn't been cleaned up on the chart. Like the probabilities are ridiculous. So, we're likely going to visit 40K again at some point.
Funnily enough, the last one we had was at 42K, the one we just took out, and that was a year old.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like they get cleaned up. So like if you need to be able to withstand the move down to 40K, surely. So just let the market show.
In fact, I was looking at the open interest on Bitcoin and in terms of dollar values, and we have like so little wipeout of the open interest in this run since 2 weeks ago, November. That I don't know, a flush seems more than likely at some point.
Yeah.
Targeting that 40K, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, sure. Oh, we've had the New York Open happen since then. So is anything? I guess we're just on a bit of a melt up right now, aren't we?
We're both monthly open also.
Yeah. Shall we continue on with the next guest, and then we'll do some once everyone's done a little bit, then we'll have a general chat about everything else.
A fight about up or down.
Yeah. All right.
I know your answer.
Cool. Welcome. Up next, we got Fugazi. So this is your screen shared now.
Nice. I'll immediately click off of this ES chart because that's not what I'm going to do. Yeah, so I'm Fugazi. I mainly do, I go about everything that's a Fugazi in Toros. I mainly trade with code, and then I do some additional analysis on top. And then I execute my orders through code. So it's a little bit more, nerdy, I guess. I like to trade options as well. I'm going to do a little stream about that tomorrow, and then next week again. For the people that are interested, you can join Toros and then be involved because, I think options are a great edge, and I think everyone should learn. But for now, let's talk about Bitcoin. I was also going to talk about alts a little bit, but then I realized I was going to dox myself if I would. So maybe next time. But so now it's just going to be Bitcoin, a little bit of Ethereum, maybe a bit like general alts. But anyway, so the chart we're looking at now, the Bitcoin weekly. I've been very bullish on Bitcoin. I was bullish, but I got very, very bullish around like this 33, this little range here. Why is because we've entered And the range that I have on right now is just the value area high, the value area low, and a point of control from the previous bull to bear. So if you take the range bull from here to here, basically you get this range, and then if you zoom into the hourly, you get these exact levels. So and the rules are, I mean, most people know range trading. It's when you get into this range, you reclaim the val, you expect to see the point of control and the value area high. So for me, from this value kind of standpoint, we're not done yet. Also in the order flow, I still see a lot of absorption, which also happened here. So yeah, in my opinion, this is still not done yet. We can still tap this value area high, at least. My main concern with this is this fib pull. So if you pull a fib from the top to the low of this previous bull market range, this has made an extension, so into this low. So the bear market low was into the 1.618 extension, which means for me, well, at this point, it meant for me that there was a decent probability for us to get back to the 0.5 fib, which we've just hit. So from a technical standpoint, this trade is done. Yeah, so this is my main concern with this idea from this range. So yeah, we still have like, and the people in Discord know this. I've been saying that we can get like a 10K candle. We got halfway, kind of. We still have some to go. But yeah, for me, it still hasn't changed. Like the trend is still up, and I like to just see this as a kind of game of musical chairs. So like, you know, we're all dancing right now until someone sits down, it's over. So I've mainly been playing this with call options. It's a bit easier to not get stopped out on these like WooX, like those. And up here, I've been using covered calls to kind of take profit. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of how I see that. On the mid time frame, if you would want to be a little bit more conservative, you can say from this range, you can pull this one, which is a little bit tighter, and also that we haven't completed yet. So yeah, there is from this kind of yeah, value standpoint, there's still a little bit to go, in my opinion. So, and I've been so that's kind of the high time frame stuff, and I've been tracking the low time frame as well. So this whole move up was really easy to trade. Every load that we got was absorbed through the order flow. Like literally every single one was absorbed, and it was absorbed harder than the ones before. So really clear order flow, in my opinion. We moved up into this extension, and here it looked like we could get some kind of retrace. We blasted through again, hit the next level, and now it looks like we can get a little bit of a retrace as well. But the move down that we saw here was also all absorbed relative to this one. Yeah, so to me, I mean, we're not totally out of the woods. Let's go down a little bit further. So when I saw this step over here, it showed me, or it told me that, well, this is very clear resistance, first of all. And also in the order flow, these highs are getting absorbed relative to the highs that we put in here. So yeah, someone is trying to keep this down, or well, someone, let's just call it the market. The market is trying to keep us down here, which tells me it wouldn't be a problem if we could come down here into this area. So that would be another, yeah, 3% move down, which is no biggie if you've rode this whole move up. And I think, like, if you look on the on-chain statistics as well, and I don't like on-chain statistics, but I mean, it's telling us that like a very, very big portion of the Bitcoin holders are in profit right now. So I don't think anyone would be worried, you know, and selling all their Bitcoin with a 3% drop. people that are holding now are looking for way higher. Yeah, I do have targets even higher than the value area high that I put out here, like this one up here, but let's not go over that. I think this is the most realistic intermediate target, and it also lines up with this low time frame range. So now we have this idea of a little bit of a chill in Bitcoin. So with a chill, everyone is going to question, like, are we going to see something in alts? And ETH Bitcoin is, well, the first thing to look at, in my opinion. We're still at range lows from this huge, what is it, like 3 years? Yeah, like 3 years range. So I mean, if you're into range trading, I mean, this would be a place to look for longs, right? I mean, there is always this scenario where we could drop even further and all that, but for now the range is still holding and looking for a kind of a rotation. Yeah, so we hit a monthly level here. There's also a 1-to-1 extension from this range, and that got hit perfectly. So for now, it's a little bit too early to say we're gonna go all the way down. So yeah, still looking for kind of a reversal. And it does look like there is room left in Ethereum, or like at least room to kind of catch up. The levels I'd be looking at are this point of control. So let's take all of the other stuff off. So this, so the same thing that I did with Bitcoin, you can do with Ethereum here. We had this value area low, we reclaimed it, backtested it, and now we have a good chance, in my opinion, to get this 3K point of control. Yes, so this will be my main target for the coming weeks. And yeah, so once Ethereum starts going up here, I think the ecosystem is gonna also catch up with the rest of the alts, and we have the Bitcoin dominance. It looks very bullish. So still, it might be a little early to look at alts, because in the last cycle we got all the way up to a full range extension. So if you extend this range all the way up, then you come up to this target. And so if we would do that in this cycle, or well, cycles, let's just call it in this range, you can come up all the way to 61% about. So there is still room to go, but also here you can see a little rejection from the 1.618 extension. We can get that here as well. And then this would be your little 6% dominance alt season, I guess. And then this big move here is just a move we saw here, which is going to be the real moneymaker. And it does look like we can get this, because in total 3, so this is the total crypto market cap minus Ethereum, minus Bitcoin. We're still all the way down here, so there is a lot of room for this to grow. The range, like the overall range, is still all the way up here. So, you know, we reclaimed the value area low on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but for alts, we're not even close yet. So, still, I mean, technically, it's still risky in this move up. Alts have dumped a little harder when Bitcoin put in lows. So yeah, it's technically it's still risky, but if you look at this higher time frame, the pattern of the last cycle kind of looks like we're doing something like the same. So I think everyone is waiting for this last dip to get in. In my opinion, there's for now, there's not a high chance of getting it, but anyway, the previous cycle said we get this dip and then this huge move up. So that's
actually, sorry, I don't want to cut you, but just
to
support a bit maybe your idea. It's debatable if it's good to do LEO to have on the dominance chart, but so far I have a count that is following not so bad for the Bitcoin DOM chart, and what I'm seeing right now is like one little more move up on the Bitcoin dominance before a significant retrace, which would mean like a good alt season if it does.
Yeah. Yeah, and if this happens
yeah.
because Bitcoin dumping and the alts dumping harder, or Bitcoin going up and alts just chilling, which kind of has been this move. So yeah, trends say we're gonna get even more like more increases in Bitcoin and alts just hanging out for a bit. I mean, like technically just keep doing that trend. Yeah, but there's definitely some room left. Maybe this is going to be like Bitcoin's chill, and then alts catch up, or yeah. I mean, there's multiple kind of ways this could play out. But yeah, general Bitcoin is up and remain the Bitcoin dominance up. There's a chance that alts can run soon, but yeah. So that's kind of my analysis on everything. DXY, by the way, this kind of, I mean, most people look at it as a can everything pump kind of chart. And for me, we have put in the 1.618 extension of this range. So that means we're coming back down to the 0.5. And we have put in a little 0.5 range pullback here as well. And everything is lining up to this little area here. So this is my big target for the DXY. So while this is moving down, yeah, for me, everything still has room to grow.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'd agree with yeah, what you said about especially like the altcoin market cap, how much it's just lagging behind everything at the moment. And if we are to get a bit of just maybe a bit of a pullback on Bitcoin where it just falls into more of a range again here for a while, we can see some of those lower caps start to take back a bit of dominance. I still think Ethereum's looking like especially interesting overall. Like if I just on just very simple, why can't I reset my scale? Never mind. It's like it's just been following just this mad like trend, just down, lower, and we're either looking at some kind of capitulation from Ethereum that takes it back down to below that 0.05 Bitcoin level, down to around about that 0.04, or we do eventually break out of this downtrend that it's been in for over a year now. And then it starts to regain some dominance again, where we can be looking back at the PAC and looking at like a dominant cycle from Ethereum, which is certainly something that will happen at some point. There always is some kind of dominance cycle for Ethereum, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it can pull that off again. Like the last market cycle it had, it was relatively calm, but through this whole bear market, Bitcoin, ETH, BTC has held fairly stable. It gives it a good base to push on, and potentially in a year, 2 years from now, we'll be talking about Ethereum flipping Bitcoin. I think it's something that might inevitably happen at some stage, but yeah, certainly some stuff to keep an eye on.
Can I put in one last remark?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not really a chart thing. It's more of a like for me, it's really important to understand that Bitcoin can have these weeks, week on week on week, and like most people have gotten in like around 2021 or even 2022, and haven't experienced this environment where Bitcoin just goes up and up and up and up, and it leaves everyone behind. And so this kind of behavior, like this is something you can't, I mean, I feel like everyone is kind of looking for this pullback and wants a short entry, but there yeah, you see it everywhere, right? Or so
the problem is as well, when we eventually get the pullback, no one's going to want to buy it.
Yeah.
It's just the way I can remember back to like previous bull market when we first hit that like 65 or 69k or whatever it was, and then everyone's like, oh man, I wish we could just go back to 30k again, and then it went to 30k before going to the next all-time highs. None of those people bought it. It's like that's the way that the market works. It's like everyone's wishing and hoping for a pullback now to go back to 30k, to go to 28k, to go to 19k, to go to 12k. I guarantee if it goes to 12K, no one's going to buy it. Like,
That's for
like
sure.
the vast majority are not going to be buying it there. So
Yeah, so
it's just market psychology.
people, please don't underestimate the ability of Bitcoin to just go up relentlessly and leave everyone behind. So
Yeah.
this is my final kind of remark that I want to point out. For if you've not been with any bull market, then yeah, I mean,
actually,
no,
I
this
was
happened.
thinking about that. Like when we were printing that potential ending diagonal, like I don't know, a week or two ago, I was aying about that count for a few weeks, and like when we were getting to the point where it could be unfolding, I just saw on Twitter everywhere that count, and I just yeah, that's not that count, but I can come back on it. I say, yeah, well, I'm gonna edge my long here anyway, because it's, well, I have the count, I have a clear validation, but well, seeing so many people starting to share that same count, that I say doesn't feel right. And a bit the same thing here about that 50K target. I mean, since we break out, well, even prior to that, I was talking about it, but since we break out of the 32 here, so okay, next target is 50. Then I can see that the only bear count that I can look at is to go to 50 and print a fucking bull trap here. But the more we go up, the more I see people talking about that, the more I'm starting to think, well, we'll see. It's important resistance, but yeah, maybe we just keep going, as Fugazi say, just going like, yeah, like previous bull run. You barely have a week that closed below its open, you know. When it goes,
Yeah, I mean, it's
going,
like
going.
everyone's still expecting at the moment for like everyone's still looking for the short and expecting the pullback, and it's like quite often it's there's not really the FOMO there yet. I think the FOMO is on people trying to short it, thinking that we're near a top. And there's still a long way. Like the moment this will reverse is the moment when no one thinks it's going to dip anymore.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
it's just how it always is. So as soon as everyone's like, oh my god, we're literally going to 100K, aren't we? We're breaking all time highs. Then they'll be like, nah, psych. I'm gonna
that's the time. Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah,
Wait for
actually,
laser
yeah,
eyes.
there's not so much FOMO here. Like we can see on the
No,
front.
there's not.
We
Yeah.
had a bit
Yeah,
of
there's barely
premium
new.
here, but not even crazy.
Yeah,
And
not
now
that many new traders coming into the space. We
Nope,
look
nope.
at the okay, we're consistently getting over 100 viewers, and I'm sure there's some new people in here as well that have maybe joined crypto within the last month or so. If you are here and you're new here, welcome. Please do subscribe and hit the like button and all of those things. Check out toroscrypto.com if you are new here. That was a really nice, smooth segue into that. So check out toroscrypto.com if you are new here.
Yeah.
But it still kind of feels like most people watching this and most people who are
that
joining
already
in
crypto.
with the stream are people who have been here for the last couple of years. So
Yeah,
still,
we don't have new freeze money yet. I mean,
there's not a big
there isn't
retail.
TME,
Mhm.
but who was this guy?
TBR.
I'm just waiting for the.
Oh yeah, carry on. I was just going to
say,
say thank you to TBRs. He says they're the most underrated channel in trading space. Thank you very much.
I just wait for my normie friend to text me like, "What crypto should I buy?" Or "I just bought XRP." Or,
Yeah.
"I just bought this," or even like a family member ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
Like,
this one
yeah,
friend
it's
who
difficult.
sniped the
Looking
top
for
of
that
almost every market, the housing market, the crypto market, the stock market. This guy is perfect.
Yeah, we are looking forward for this Christmas period when our friends and family gonna ask us about crypto.
Yeah, that's it. It'll be interesting. Like, I think we'll know
Is
around
it two
Christmas
people
time.
asking, or
Everyone,
is it 20?
yeah, the first stream back, right? Here's a task for everybody who's watching, all 113 people watching. Okay, everybody, you need to count the amount of times or the amount of family members that ask you about crypto. And if it's less than 30% of people are asking about crypto, we're still going higher. So we'll find out. We'll do a little poll and see how many people had family members asking them about this when we come back. What is that chart?
Yeah, Fugazi was talking a bit about on-chain data. So, I was thinking a bit about that. There's like a couple of people talking about it on Twitter as well. And, it's a fact that if you look at the on-chain data, we didn't see like large wealth accumulation. So quite a weird situation we had in the last year, though. As you can see, the red line here is a wallet between 0 and 10 BTC, and 1,000 and more BTC in blue here. Maybe I can put this in white so it's clearer. And you can see that during the FTX crash, we see a steep rise of the low of the small wallet accumulation and a very steep decrease of the big wallet accumulation. So that's kind of the data as it is weird and pretty different to the previous bull market, in fact. Well, not so much different because the small wallet always are accumulating, but the white here, the big one, I've been accumulating, buying a lot during the previous bull market, distributing a bit during the tops, but accumulating overall. And right now we are not seeing such a steep increase. We are seeing a bit of an uptrend then since the capitulation, but not such of a big increase. I'm showing this, I'm thinking about it, but on-chain data is something that is interesting and also not so sure it's, I'm looking at it, but I'm not gonna base all my bias on it because there is change in the protocol and the way the stuff works that may
I think
explain
as a
why.
trader, as a trader, when we're looking at like the technicals all the time, it doesn't really matter too much. Like what the on-chain analysis can tell you is that, okay, we're not dying, like Bitcoin's not going to zero as long as this stuff remains healthy and stuff, but it's not like hard to base a
anyway, the price action shows a way, and that's the most important. But
I'm just
that
gonna,
might be an argument to say, okay, maybe we're going to 12K,
it's going to take
I
something
also
crazy
think
for that
that
to happen.
this data might be flawed because there is new stuff like Taproot and stuff like this that allow big holders to split their holding into multiple small wallets and etc. Like you can make a transaction with 100 of wallets and just pay one transaction fees. So maybe there's something here that's starting to set up stuff to hide more the tracks or whatever. Anyway,
I think many analysts or so-called analysts have already proven that the whole on-chain analysis is a really big fugazi.
Well,
we can come back to on-chain in a second. I just want to cover this comment before anyone gets fed up and leaves because our questions aren't getting answered. So we've got Shadowjack is saying, what do you think about the VIX and the DXY right now, both bouncing from key support? Like, you look at the VIX, okay, and I know people have been talking about this as like, okay, look, the VIX is down at like really low volatility, and when it starts to tick up again, that's bearish for markets. But you spent like 6 years down there previously, like more, like from 2012 to 2010, it was just incredibly low, the volatility, and these are just little corrections when it ticks up, corrections in a relentless uptrend from the S&P500 and from the NASDAQ that took us from the financial crisis all the way up until the COVID crash. And then if you're going to extend this out and you're looking at where things are right now on the volatility index, I do not understand why just because we've hit a low, people think, oh my God, it's going to like start going crazy again. And we're going to end up with like a mad bear market, because you just paste this over here and that can give us, let's go on to a monthly chart. And if you're just looking at it like that, it could be 2032, whilst like the VIX was at the low last time, how if we're going to get a continuation of this, and you tend to see these spikes that are, you have like cycles. And actually this was shared in the chat in Discord a while ago, which has just the market, the way that the market works and the way that like macroeconomics works is fairly cyclical. And right now there's, yeah, like we should in theory be going through a many years of recovery right now, because we've had the COVID crisis, we had the financial crisis. For that to happen and for there to be another crisis this soon to when the previous one was, it's just kind of unlikely. And I think it's just a lot of fear from people. When you look at the dollar as well, yes, we're at support, and yes, it's local support. We hit the 618. We've already bounced basically into where the major resistance is on this chart. If that continues up another 0.5, 0.7%, then you're potentially making another lower high within what to me looks like major weakness. Okay, you put in a range, you sweep the highs, and then you're continuing lower. And I'm overall very bearish dollar and very bearish America and very bullish assets in general over the next few years. So I don't think it's like big fear stuff that can come into the market. I look at the VIX and I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, cool. We can have like these local moves, and that's probably enough to get a relatively decent correction on the S&P, which could take, like, for example, the NASDAQ back down to that 14,800 or something, which is what we've been talking about previously. But I think overall they would be opportunities to buy, and then we're looking at like higher over the next few years. So I think macro still looks really good. I think the VIX can end up being flatlined for a lot longer than anyone expects. And yeah, genuinely, I know it sounds like it's kind of, it's like that. It's almost like it's an unpopular opinion to be bullish and to be like, yeah, we are going to go through a big bull run. But I think the probabilities suggest massively weighted in our advantage if we are bullish. There's going to be the whole AI narrative. There's going to be all of this other stuff. There's a lot of like, yeah.
I think it's unpopular.
Right
I think from that notion, what you've said, like it being unpopular to be bullish, I think that just adds to the theory that a lot of people got left behind, and people want lower prices because they want to get in and they want an area of value. Therefore, we can expect higher.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, I don't know about that, because we're getting fearful each time we're going lower on stocks, but each time we're getting closer to the highs, the greed come back. That's But I've just, when you do sentiment analysis, it's just subjective, right? But I don't know if there's so much people so bearish. I mean, the data is very bearish. Most of the data are very bearish, economical ones, from what I can see. But I'm not seeing such bearish stance in the sentiment. I see a very volatile sentiment, in fact. And we drop a few percent, everybody get extremely fearful and see all this obvious bearish data, and each time we get back to the high, it's gone.
Yeah, for sure.
In fact, I have a very clear invalidation. It's on the S&P for me that we are really close to it, but yeah, the July high is very key on one of my account right now, and I mean we are a few ticks from it, but yeah, get above it and yeah, okay, new all-time highs, but under it, I think they turn around pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just seeing in the chat, it says TRB is waking up. I closed my TRB long this morning before the drop, and you're right, it is kind of waking up again since that drop. So this is why TRB is probably going to break out, because I've tried 2 longs on this already and I've given up on both of them. So you're welcome if you're holding a TRB long. I've closed mine, so it's now free to pump because, yeah. Thanks, TRB. Hey, Greg's in the chat. Force J Casper to give you a big shout out in front of 1,000 viewers. Hopefully, you get some new subs from it. Is there anyone here from J Casper? J Casper's crew? Anybody here? Welcome if you are here. Please do make sure you subscribe to us and watch our streams as well, because yeah, that'll be very nice. I've just realized as well we've got Randall and we've got Delirium in the house, and we haven't spoken to them yet. So who wants to hear from from Randall and Delirium? We got Delirium up. I see Delirium's got a screen share here. Oh, and a baby in the background. By the sound.
Oh, do you hear him?
Yeah.
It's not a baby anymore. He's 8.
Oh, hello, mini Delirium. Welcome.
Wow.
Yeah. So I will.
You expect me to give some extra information about after all what's been said already?
Oh,
that's gonna be hard to top, man.
No pressure, no pressure. I see a big magnet on your screen, which is
everything is being set already.
Cool. Wow.
Because I mainly look at the high time frame, so it's gonna be a summary actually.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was looking at was this when we were back at 37 or lower. I said the only real high time frame levels are a lot above us or a lot below us. Same with the FIB confluences and the big POC from the previous range, and where we are now, right at the volume vote I was looking at. So yeah, that was around here. So, well, everyone thought they were gonna short the top. We were in the crew all looking for higher or much lower, but in here there's no high time frame trade to be had.
Yeah, I think that was because although we were at that POC and we'd hit that and we were able to take little scalps off of that, little head short positions off of that.
Yeah, here was a weekly block with a POC on it, so we stalled a bit around there, but then it just blasted off through all the levels,
and
which
we just
everyone shorted.
Continued the uptrend, and yeah, it was one of those.
And now, like Cake said, here is the first weekly, block breaker supply. How do you call it? And that's keeping us down for now. But once we go above this, there's like a little volume gap, and then it's off to this. If you look at the monthly, there's like nothing in here keeping us from going a lot higher. On the other hand, we've been going up for like 7-8 weeks straight. So everyone is expecting the pullback, and it's going to come at some point. But everyone who thought the pullback was going to come here for 10-15%, well, it comes now, it's back to their entry.
This might be the first time. How many weeks have we been bullish?
Well, we've been bullish since the breakouts of 32K. Yeah. I remember saying if it goes above 32K, everyone's going to short it, and it's just going to squeeze higher.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think
now it's the 8
9-week screen on Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I don't think that's ever happened.
I looked back on it and I think 7, but that's been like a few years. So proper previous bull market territory.
Yeah, so I think this could be the first time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we've had 8 in 2017. I think this will be the first time potentially we've ever had 9 weeks in a row of green if we do get another green week, which we'll see.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Another thing as well were the fractals.
That I was waiting for those.
Yeah, but I think you showed them
really bullish.
Yeah, well, everyone has them by now. We have them on the charts for a while now, but I think everyone has them on the charts for now. We started looking at them right here, right in the beginning. French Bull mentioned like he wants to see upsloping consolidation.
Yeah, I look at that fractal just prior to the breakout.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just jumped on my eyes and said, "Yeah, oh fuck, it's in fact I think we're bullish."
So when this dropped here, I actually bought, assuming not because of the fractal, but assuming this was the one.
It's perfect.
And now everyone is going to be looking for the actual flush. But it can continue for a few days before we get the flush.
Yeah, like saying it's gonna stop is like when you're at roulette and it's been like red 8 times. It's like saying, well, now it's going to be black. Like it's this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it can be red again. You know what will be crazier than 9 weeks in
So
the green?
here
10
if we
weeks
get
in the green.
bullish. Yeah. That's what I literally said, that we're 7 weeks in the green. Everyone's going to expect a pullback, but it can easily go to 8 or 9 and then pull back to where we are now.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing when we're moving up at the speed that we have been. Like people are like, "Oh yeah, we'll get a short because we're bound to pull back to something to like these previous levels fairly soon." But just a week ago, we would have been thinking, "Okay, 38 to 32, that's a nice pullback." Now we're thinking, "Oh my god, 32 is probably way out." Like now we might only a maximum be able to pull back to 38. So now it's like short positions that are still holding there. It's like all the longs that opened at 38 to 42 within the previous bull market before that May crash. It took them over a year, like a year and a half, to be able to like break even on that. And it's like you're looking at all of the Michael Saylor investments have only just turned green after a year and a half. You're looking at El Salvador only just turned green after a year and a half. We could be in a position where short positions or people who have sold only get the opportunity to buy back lower than where they sold like a year down the line or something. It's like, who knows?
Yeah. So yeah, and just repeating again, same thing on Ethereum. Ethereum is at where Bitcoin was at 32K, no volume, straight down. So if it keeps above here, it's easy move up.
Yeah.
And everything else has been said already. I'm doing a lot of stats on sessions and stuff like that as well, to keep you or prevent you from entering too early, prevent you from stopping or closing too early.
Yeah, we had our New York trading room yesterday, and there was quite a good example of that, of just being patient on a trade where, like, through journaling and through statistics and collecting stats, you can get a really good understanding. And even today, like the fact that through statistics and through understanding where liquidity is and through journaling trades that haven't gone right, we kind of know that yesterday was one of those days where, just patience, and we hadn't had the dip yet. And a lot of people probably got caught into a long position a bit too soon, and that's why they get wiped out today. Those statistics and that kind of thing are great.
Yeah,
to be
those help me a lot to wait a bit longer before you jump into it.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
Basically the entry is where your stop loss was going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think so if anyone's been watching the morning updates, the liquidation maps have been really useful of late. Understanding what side of the market's getting caught on the wrong side, where are we likely to go. The move down that we had this morning was just taking long liquidations, and then we've had a really decent bounce off of that so far. So yeah, they've been really, really helpful just to start to understand where the market is. And you're looking at this again now, and we've kind of cleaned up most of the longs that needed to be liquidated. There's a few more gathering within this range here, but everything's still
44.
I'm just wondering how they use a calculation on that. I mean the heat map works greatly, but it is not linked with any open interest data, in fact.
No, it's just taking if people have been entering in this range at 50x, 20x, or whatever, they're likely to be liquidated there. It's guessing, but they've been quite reliable in understanding what side people are. What side of the market people are more likely to get wrecked on, I guess. So quite cool.
Another thing, the total 2, same stuff here. Last time everyone was shouting alt season was here or here, I don't know, one of the two at resistance. So now you talked about Bitcoin dominance, maybe go up a bit more and then go down. But now we're actually breaking out again
Yeah,
with
true.
no resistance.
Yeah, I think it's going to be some crazy high.
Yeah. So if you look at like this, at this way, there's a huge potential to the upside still.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if we can get like a, I mean, I'm looking at ETH BTC and it's up 3% on the day right now. So we're
Double
really
bottom.
like to sweep that low, no?
Yeah, now, yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah, Ethereum's really going for it. Also looking pretty good right now. I've got those longs that I took earlier. Very, very nice.
I'm actually looking at some charts, and the one I found which has not popped yet was it Algo? Yeah, it was Algo. This one is still pretty okay-ish. Okay, it had a decent run already, like everything else. But if you like pull the fixed range just to the low, you see all the accumulations at the bottom,
Oh
even
yeah,
till
that's
here.
a beautiful volume. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'll
if
go,
you
I
extend it, this is all accumulation. So this one is the one I'm looking at. We had a few that played out like this that already reached like here and even here. But this one might be interesting.
Yes. I'm going to quickly, I see we've got Randall in the house as well now.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome.
Hey, you just slided me in there, and I didn't even see it. I thought I was still backstage. You gotta watch out. I got an 8-year-old in here, so you might hear some explosions or something.
Oh, also 8 years.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to. So I know you've just joined. If you click on present and then do a screen share, we can put your screen up if you would like to do a screen share. If there's anything you would like to say.
I forgot to do that as well.
I was gonna say I'm coming in late here, and I heard some of the stuff. I was on some other calls, so I'm probably gonna, like you said, said reiterate what a bunch of other people said. But I don't know, maybe that'll just add to the confluence.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, if you want to set up a screen share again, like I can just put that onto the screen in a minute. I'm gonna just take back the screen quickly because there's another announcement that I want to make whilst everybody is here, and that is that the WooX futures trading competition has started today. So this is a competition that is only available to Woo partners, partner exclusive. So that means that if you sign up for this competition under our link, so if you click on the link that I'm just about to post into the comments in like 3, 2, 1, there, if you click on this link, then you will be able to join the Woo futures trading competition. I've just taken a few nice longs this morning, so hopefully that all gets added into my personal P&L for today. And yeah, there's a $40,000 prize pool at stake. I am also out of my own pocket going to give away up to how many tokens did I say? Up to 5,000 Woo tokens, which is over $1,000 at the moment, and it might go up even more, but I am going to give away up to 5,000 Woo tokens depending on how many people join this competition. So all you got to do, sign up using the link, take part in the competition, trade over 50k of volume, so that's a couple of Bitcoin leverage, nothing major. Trade that, and then I will add, we'll give away up to 5,000 Woo tokens to one person who has joined the competition at random. So there's a little announcement for you guys there as well. So hopefully some of you guys take part. I don't know why I'm doing that over the TRB chart. Ethereum's about to make a new high, by the way. Like that is pumping. So we were looking at alts, a little rotation into alts, but anyway, enough. Yeah, enough of that. Let's.
It's awesome to get some action.
Yeah. we'll let Randall have the stage for a second, and we'll carry
You
on.
heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first.
You should have been all watching though already. I mean, Ethereum had been lagging behind Bitcoin with a lot of its movement, so I had been stocking up just because of that. Because let's be honest, it had to start breaking out at some point. And I guess that's today. So, yeah. So, just, I mean, for anybody who's ever been on one of the Asia Open streams, this is going to be old hat, but I'll kind of just give an abbreviated version of a lot of what I go over in the evening streams, just to kind of give people a heads up. This is my kind of temperature of the market, stuff like DXY, a Coinbase weekly chart, crypto. This would be total one, and then this is the USDT chart, which I think probably is the most interesting one. Is the crypto cap USDT. This correlates essentially just new USDT or Tether being issued, and when you look at this chart and then compare it to the Bitcoin chart on the weekly here, you can kind of look and see as new Tether was issued, the price just had a gentle upward movement. As it starts to top out here is when we had this kind of larger aggressive pullback, kind of the most aggressive single week pullback, I think, in maybe second of the year, essentially. And then what happens as it keeps, people keep issuing new Tether, you see the price move up and up and up. And just kind of the way that how consistent this was put in, it's almost like people were TWAPing into Tether and then throwing it into BTC. So just kind of a very high level macro. I know a lot of times you can look at the dollar as well to kind of gauge some of that interest as well. You see here this big trek up that we had here coincides with the big dip down in Bitcoin here. So these two are really good, just kind of temperature gauges that I use sometimes for what the crypto market could potentially do. So primarily I focus on BTC trading, kind of medium to high time frame, and then ES trading. I think this probably coincides with some of what was talked about, but I'll go into it just a little bit to kind of follow up, maybe medium time frame. These are the kind of fixed range pulls or anchored volume profiles that I make polls to do kind of higher time frame trades on, obviously longing outside the value area low and shorting outside of value area high. The biggest kind of trigger for me after we exited this long-term range that we had here was as we got to the short-term range outside, you had two things. You had constantly bouncing off point of control. So where was most of the volume, put into play, and the fact that we couldn't break down to test lower prices. And then once we got above and outside of value area high, we're literally bouncing and using value area high as dynamic support before this kind of parabolic move up. So once you exit these, it's just kind of a free for all. So you've got to go up a little bit higher time frame, which is why I have this set up here. And I think this is my current kind of thesis on the market. So essentially, I took a long-term pull of the anchored volume profile from essentially the original low that we had that aligns with the low we had of this year. So kind of like when the market started at the current low, we'll draw from there. And I think it did a pretty good job in terms of looking at some pretty like high volume areas, acting as support. This one was the most key, I think, where you actually had a point of control shift, meaning that you just could not get above this. There were lots of sell orders, enough sell orders that generated a big spike in the volume profile right here that kept us pushing us down and down. We obviously held for a little while at value area low before we kind of ended up doing our multi-month deviation in this high time frame. Came back here, kind of re-entered. And once we essentially, re-entered and kept inside, this aligns, I think, like everybody else has, this essentially this weekly area over here at around 48K. Well, that's where the point of control is for this giant region. So yeah, we'll have some sort of pullbacks here. We're kind of in no man's land in a big low volume area. The fact that we haven't come all the way up yet, that's totally fine. Maybe we come back. I've got obviously alarms set here around 39 and 38K. Essentially, this is where volume is supporting us. You obviously have a 12-hour block down here that is another place to potentially support us if we come down. I would not expect us to breach this region or this large area here. So as soon as we come down to this area, I would love to add. This would be my aggressive dip buying potentially. And to be perfectly honest, if this point of control actually does a full-on flip down here and we can't break through that, that's when I start to mortgage the kids and the dog and everything. Yeah. So, I mean, and just as a little bit of theory, we've been explaining this a little bit, and the ES actually today is the other thing that I trade. And I think the ES is another good example of this, is that part of the reason that I use the volume profiles, especially the kind of rolling profiles, is so that I can see how and where and when the point of control may have changed, where it was and where it went to. And so when I see something like this, I see a big flip, that tells me that there's a bunch of orders, that there's enough resting sell orders up here that we actually moved the most amount of volume transacted up here, which is not very surprising. How quickly we moved up here kind of correlates to how quickly we moved down yesterday. So kind of a slip down, slip up type situation. And it wasn't until you got to this area that you actually had a meaningful resistance. So you get to see those points of control flip. So same sort of situation in Bitcoin. If we start to come back down, this high volume node essentially becomes the point of control. That'll mean that there's enough resting bids that people want to hold this price and see higher prices. So, you know, all things being equal, this is going to be where I probably get out of a reasonable amount of Bitcoin, because point of controls are where, you know, price can flip from time to time. Like, that's a high probability situation. If we continue, if we reclaim it and there's a chance, then fine, we'll add back to our longs and we'll take it up to value area high 55, 56 ish. I think that would be a really good place for us to rest. And I heard you guys talking a little bit about it, but as far as I'm concerned, most, or kind of the amount of volume that we're seeing pushing this up, is probably ETFs expecting to get approved in the next month, and they have to fill their bags to make sure that they can back up what they say they do. And then any sort of money going into those ETFs is not buying more Bitcoin. It's just fulfilling the kind of promises they're giving people that they are holding this Bitcoin and that it will appreciate or depreciate depending upon the price of Bitcoin. So if there's going to be a push, it's going to have to come from outside of those ETFs, I think. So I personally think that this would be a good place for us to stop and just hold for a while until maybe there is some larger, more meaningful macro news to push us to all-time highs. I don't think the ETF is enough, but that's just me. And maybe I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but that's why I'm long and will continue to be long. And it's just scalping for the time being for me if I do any shorts. So, and then there's a couple little kind of areas here. And then very similarly on the ES, let me kind of just give a quick little breakdown. Very similar high time frame. Part of the reason that I believe we had a pullback. Let me find where the heck I put my. Oh, you know what? It's not on here. We'll tell you what, while we're here, let me just draw it live because it's just that easy. Let's go to our fixed. So same sort of situation. This in ES, I actually did two different anchored pulls. One from a volume spike over here and one from the kind of where we started this move at. And for some reason, it's not actually drawing it. Let me try this again. Oh, you know what? I think my stream button blocked it. So we go here. And this isn't Bitcoin, so we don't need 500 row size. Let's do, actually, let's do 10 and see where we're really at. So same sort of situation. Where's price and premium? Where is it in discount? We're definitely at a price premium right now. And as you can see, we essentially shifted value area high because of the volume, because of the resting asks up here. So we would expect to some degree some little pullback, which we saw. Whether we're going to continue to go down is kind of up around, you know, market structure basis. We don't have any reason to believe that we're going to come back down to this point of control or lower. But it's certainly something I look for. It's the reason I took a short yesterday, was part of the reason was because we're up here. I think right now we're at a perfect spot. I think, Cake, you had mentioned it earlier, where we're literally, I think we have just about done an 80% setup situation. I was
going to mention it.
Yeah, here you go. Here's your naked point of control from yesterday, and we have essentially tapped it. I mean, if you were in a long and that was your target, you probably should be out or mostly out of it, I think, at this point. And then, I mean, to be perfectly honest, if I was able to get into that long today, I was busy, unfortunately, with some family stuff, but that would have been a fantastic long, and I'd be out and I just wouldn't touch the market the rest of the day. I don't want to necessarily short this in case there is some other larger, more meaningful situation that we're going to, break out of that high time frame range. But I don't know, maybe we're sitting higher lows, and I'm not going to try to put any positions on that would hold for a long amount of time, one way or the other right now, because we really could go either way. I want to see a definitive breaking out of that big range to potential highs, or a serious pullback to say, yeah, we are going to come back down to that point of control a little bit lower, and maybe just continue to range around this high time frame area, essentially, that we've been in for, a number of months now, essentially. So
yeah, that was the position I was in. So I got the long this morning, and I closed out before the news came, and just been chilling.
Yeah, and it was
in the same
relentless,
boat
man.
as I expect higher.
Yeah, I did not see that. I mean, when I actually got to the chart and saw the move, I was like, oh, let's wait for a pullback. I mean, a low time frame, this is how I trade a little bit more. This is essentially the CVD, and this is essentially two different rolling VWAPs and how they compare to one another, so you can get an idea. Rolling volume weighted moving average over, I think it's like a 30 and a 60 period, essentially. And once I get this sort of trigger here, where I see my low time frame average cross over my yellow, cross over my red, that's just generally a red bias, and the thing just never really gave up. And Cake, as you can see, I have my Midas coloring for the candle coloring for the ADXDI on here.
Keep that quiet.
But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I thought about shorting here because it was right at New York Open. But we had essentially that lower high, but we never had another lower low after that. So I just kind of let it be. And the fact that you had mentioned the point of control kind of gave me a bit of a pause as well from it.
Yeah,
touching that
with the ES right now, you've got it off the New York initial balance, and you're in a heavy uptrend. So it's just not something I'm interested in shorting remotely, especially considering the high it's now tapping into didn't really achieve much. Yeah. So. And the 4-hour structure is bullish. So for me, this is just no point in trying to short this thing unless you get a nice opportunity somewhere else.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at some point, there's a lot of quick movement through here. Maybe we breach this, we play around a little bit, and then we start to make our way back down. And maybe this is just a consolidation from the high, back and forth. We have two really big aggressive points of control here. Maybe if we merge all these together at some point, which I haven't actually tried on TradingView yet, but let me just give this a look and see what this.
I won't work on. That didn't make it.
Yeah, I messaged you yesterday because, to be perfectly honest, I hadn't been paying attention at all to it, and so when I saw your chart yesterday, I went, "Oh my god, that looks legit."
Yeah, imagine. That must have been a recent change that they've done.
Yeah, addition to it. So I think this gives a pretty good. I really wish it would do it on sessions, or I could break it down maybe a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, I think this gives a good It gives a good enough approximation that I don't need to look at XO for this now, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, look at what we're at right here. We're kind of outside of this range's TPO value area, and I don't know. Maybe we'll come back down inside of here. Maybe we'll come up as high as this high volume node up here before we break out. But yeah, I mean, I do top step, so I can't hold my positions too long anyway. So it's kind of a moot point if I really think it's going to trend one way or the other. I kind of have to get in during London or New York if I want to make my meaningful trades, and then just not overtrade myself out of my my profits. So, but anyway, that's all I've got. That's the world the world according to Randall.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, well, my treadmill stopped moving a few minutes ago, which means we must have been live for over 2 hours, or at least since I've been on my treadmill and set up the stream, must be over 2 hours. So we'll probably wrap it up fairly soon. Just seen little MJ's comment in the chat as well. So don't worry, MJ. Everyone who is a part of this stream is a very, very competent, profitable, good trader. We make sure we get the good people in to Team Toros, so you don't have to worry about that. Anyone who wasn't profitable, they got kicked out a long time ago, so we're all good there. And yeah, if you want to come and join the crew and you want to see the P&L shots, and Fugazi's just shared his 30-day P&L. I've put mine onto the screen there as well on one of mine. It's like 300%. It's not very much, but yeah, I'm looking quite good at the moment. All of us here within Toros, I think we can safely say we're all trading in a way that complements each other. Similar styles, but all have our unique qualities. Looking at French Bull with a lot of Elliott wave analysis, Cake doing a lot of market structure and that type of thing. Randall with his volume, Fugazi crunching the numbers, and we're going to be learning about options from Fugazi as well, something that I don't know like anything about. Delirium again.
Yeah, I can't wait to learn about options.
Huh?
Yeah, I can't wait to learn about option. In fact, I started to learn a bit about it, and yeah, really interesting about that. Especially seeing with my Bitcoin focus trading and seeing how option now weight like 50% of the open interest. I think it's going to be very important to understand that kind of thing.
Yep, and it's increasing. It's only getting bigger. So, and as institutional people join, it's going to be very, very, very key.
Yeah, exactly. It's key to the market making strategy and stuff.
Yeah, a quick, I guess, early announcement as well for the crew. I think Fugazi, you're going to do a brief introduction tomorrow. You said,
yeah, tomorrow is a warm up to kind of see, to kind of discuss with everyone that's in the Discord to like see if they have any better questions that come up, or like so I can kind of shape the content in a nice final format, and then next week we'll do the final like non-Fugazi kind of stream.
Nice.
Tomorrow is still a Fugazi in some way, but like so it's a rough sketch.
Great. Yeah, so Ethereum has just broken to new highs, by the way. So congratulations to me and to anyone else that took a long position on Ethereum on the dip earlier on. We've got a new high on ETH. So very happy about that. Did anyone else hear long Ethereum? No one. Silence.
2280 is my entry.
Yes. I got in at let me bring up can just bring up my screen again. So yeah, Doge and DOT doing quite well also. So yeah, I'm long ETH from is that average open 2236. So got it actually wasn't as good an entry as I got on some other ones. But yeah, long ETH. If we just have a look, there's my little entry on Ethereum.
By the way, I'm actually looking specifically around 26,2700 as like my places to take profit. Like I think they can run that much, and I'm willing to hold them for a little bit of time. But like those are my kind of like targets. I'd like to see if ETH does the same thing that Bitcoin did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, we got Jambi and Mo better entries than myself. Well done, everybody. So
3K.
Yes.
3.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Flash crashing coming according to Banter. The longs should be safe. Yes.
This time
Yeah,
is different. Oh no.
Thomas, yes. So, how do I send a message in Discord if I got questions? I'm a non-member, so you can just feel free to ask in the public chat. So if you come onto the Discord and you want to ask anything, ask in the public chat if you would like to, or drop me a DM. My DMs are open. There's also the Team Toros account, which is the admin account. So if you've got any questions about the community in general, if anyone has any questions about the community in general, then please do just drop us a message. Make use of the public chat if you want to. That's kind of just for anyone who's non-crew, if they've got anything that they want to discuss. The Discord is linked below. If you have any issues with getting in or anything like that, then yeah, we're also on Twitter. So maybe I should have put everyone's Twitter handles into the description here. I just reused the normal description, but yeah, do we link to everyone's Twitter? Do we do this quickly? Tell you what, maybe everyone can go. Let's go through everybody, and they can. Yeah, there we go. Everyone type in the comments. Your so we got Fugazi's is at Fugazi Trading, Fugazi _trading. Cakes. So we got Randall's, OG Randall Prince. I'll add this to the description as soon as we finish the live stream. We got French Bulls, which is at _French_bull. And then we got Cakezilla 618 at Cakezilla 618. So give these guys a follow. If we, how many likes are we at? We say we're 30 likes short or something. Okay, if we get 12 more likes, no, wait, we need more than that. We want 22 more likes. If we get to 100 likes by the time I finish this stream, then oh, fuck you, whoever just took a like away. Then we'll do this again soon. We'll do it again soon anyway, but let's see if we can hit 100 likes by the end of the stream. Up to 81. But yeah, my legs are tired. My voice is tired. My neck is still aching from yesterday. So I think it's probably a good time to wrap this up. And yeah, we'll be back again very soon. It's also got really dark outside.
That was fun, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. And unless there are any final questions, we will see you all again very soon. Crew, reminder that there will be the voice chat tomorrow, where Fugazi will be going over the options stuff. I should also be around to join in on that. I've got family staying tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to join in. But yeah, cool. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, bye-bye.
Later.
Thanks, team.